Hello everyone, it's Danzie. Season 6 is here, and I definitely have a lot to say about the opening episode, so let's dive right in. Starting off with the good, by far my favorite part of the episode was Cersei's conversation with Jaime talking about her mother's death. I think a lot of people saw this as gratuitous because we are talking about bloated and rotten corpses here, but on the other side of the coin, it shows a very real and very ugly side of grieving a loved one. My only nitpick is that by the end of the scene, Cersei seems uncharacteristically hopeless about the situation. I feel like it would have been way more like her if she had walked out of that scene more pissed off than ever. As you guys know, I've never been a big fan of Daenerys in either medium, but aside from the really cringe-worthy "Yo grandmama so old" jokes that I'd say were aimed at the 13-year-old demographic if the show wasn't rated 18A, the scenes with Daenerys and Khal Moro were actually okay. So I'm quietly optimistic that her story will be more than just her two suitors or her dragon coming to rescue her, but we'll see. After watching this first episode, I'm beginning to think that they're going to drag out the whole Jon is dead storyline for as long as they can, because it was the biggest selling point of this season. But if the evidence for him coming back wasn't already strong, the fact that the writers didn't have Alliser and the others immediately burn Jon's body after killing him is a glaring giveaway. So I'm really worried that this storyline is going to get pretty non-existent, because at this point we're really just waiting for Jon to come back to life. Also, man Davos, you were pretty quick to sing Melisandre's praises after she just led to the destruction of the two people you care most about. Surprisingly, this was probably what bothered me most about this episode. It was so frustrating not only how dependent on everyone else they made Sansa, but just how flat out incompetent she came off here. For example, why is she running slower and needing to stop more than a malnourished torture victim? Why is she afraid to swim through water when her life is on the line? Why does she need a nod of approval from Theon to trust Brienne, and she needs a squire to help her remember a formal oath of service? I mean, geez, writers, why don't you just have Theon pick Sansa up and carry her? If anything, this is totally backwards. Sansa should be the one comforting and encouraging a broken Theon, not the other way around. Sansa's will to survive and resolve to never forget her formal courtesies, even in dire situations, are what make Sansa Sansa. I am honestly extremely worried about how far they are going to regress her character, because she's been in freefall since the end of Season 4. So, you're telling me that the people of Dorne were never happy with Doran's rulership. Okay, you just f***ing made that up this episode, didn't you? Also, two of the Sand Snakes just teleporting onto the ship that Trystane and Jaime sailed away on last season? And why are Ilaria and the Sand Snakes killing their own family? What does this accomplish for them? D&D, why did you even adapt Dorne? Literally, just not having it exist on screen would have been better than this. If you don't want to follow the existing story and have nothing better that you can come up with on your own, then just don't include it! So at the very end, Melisandre reveals a twist so shocking, so game-changing, so unexpected, she's actually a man. Nah, just kidding, she's like old or something. If you didn't see the end of the episode, it's sort of like the old lady at the end of Titanic, if she got really trashed and took all her clothes off before throwing the necklace in the ocean. Okay, so I know everybody had their jokes about this, but if I'm being serious for a second, this really just felt like more empty shock value. So, she's old. Like, what impact does this really have on the story as a whole? We already know she has magical powers to glamour people, so what are we supposed to take away from this? Does it matter that she's actually been old this whole time? Well, apparently not, because she seems to get by just fine. It's not an inherent weakness, obviously. She could have revealed herself to have been a dolphin this whole time, and it would have had the exact same effect, because at this point it doesn't really mean anything. So, my overall thoughts on this episode was that it seemed to follow the steady pattern of the last few season premieres. Aside from a couple things, not much really happened because we're sort of just saying hello to the characters again after the long break. I'd say it was one of the weaker episodes overall, but I would put it ahead of a lot of the stuff in Season 5. Anyways, that's all for now. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I absolutely want to hear your thoughts on this week's episode in the comments, so let me know. Take care, guys.